We're seeing a big pattern change over the next few days as a strong cold front makes its way from Canada all the way towards the Gulf Coast, bringing cooler temperatures, lower humidity, and storm chances along the way as well. We'll talk about the tropical update later on in the video, so make sure if you are here, you've already found me, of course, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, it's free to do. You get straightforward, accurate, reliable weather coverage across the entirety of the United States, southern Canada, and the tropics. And like the video if you enjoy it, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, family member, and on social media. Let's look at our temperatures that we achieved this afternoon on your Wednesday, July 30th. Notice it was much cooler here across the upper Midwest and the northern plains, temperatures that were in the 70s, and you probably felt the lower humidity up here in spots as well. While in contrast, we were very hot and steamy down here into Texas, Oklahoma, and eastward all the way to the southeast, even seeing record highs along the I-95 corridor of the Northeast. And by the way, yes, 111 over there in Phoenix this afternoon. Let's track these temperatures over the next few days. Once we get into tomorrow, very similar to the north. We're going to be into the mid and upper 70s, upper 60s for highs from Maine back there into central and western New York. More triple digits further south, including the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Tyler, Texas, Shreveport, Monroe, perhaps even Jackson, Mississippi. It's going to be stifling again for heat tomorrow. And then once we go into Friday and especially into the weekend, we're going to start to see that heat ease back, especially for the southeast. I know the Carolinas have been very hot in the triple digits, especially there in South Carolina the past few days. Well, this will be nice to see mid-80s once we get to Sunday, August the 3rd. Yes, there'll be triple digits in Texas, but hey, you know, it's into the 90s in East Texas. We'll take the 90s versus the 100s versus what we're having right now. Now, with that change comes a chance for some showers and thunderstorms and some severe weather. This is a lower of a magnitude of severe weather than what we just went through with a derecho that moved through the Midwest. We do have isolated severe thunderstorms possible in dark green from Wyoming southward into Colorado, also from Kansas through Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and southern lower Michigan. And then stretching over here into West Virginia all the way to Maine, isolated severe thunderstorms will be the name of the game going through the rest of today. And then going into tomorrow, we're just mainly looking at Wyoming and Colorado. So from Cheyenne down toward Denver and over there into the mid-Atlantic from Pittsburgh, over there into, say, the Washington, D.C. area, Baltimore, Philly, Dover, and Trenton. Those are the areas at risk for severe weather on Thursday, July 31st. And we're going to be tracking it for you here. So let's look at the eastern United States. We'll go to the central U.S. and then we'll go further west into the western U.S. after that. Here at 6 o'clock, got some showers and thunderstorms roaming the landscape in the eastern United States, dropping some locally heavy downpours as well. As we go through the evening, we're going to lose the daytime heating here for majority of the eastern United States, especially after 9 o'clock this evening. That's when the expectation is for those storms to dwindle in coverage and intensity. However, a storm system will bring some moderate pockets of rain, some rumbles of thunder across areas of Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, and northern Ohio, and across over into Canada. So Toronto could start to see some of that rainfall as well overnight tonight, and it will pile up. There will be some heavy rainfall at times. That same storm system will start to shift eastward into the northeast, mid-Atlantic as we go through the day on Thursday, bringing around to some showers and even a few severe thunderstorms to the mid-Atlantic coast, up the east coast there towards Maine, and a few wind gusts could approach 60 miles per hour. Could have some quarter-size hail, but the tornado threat, most importantly, is very low. Heavy rainfall is promised with a lot of these storms as they pop up tomorrow, and then just like we see today, once the sun sets, those storms will dwindle in coverage and intensity. Where we see the most heavy and widespread rain will be from northern Indiana into Ohio there, so we're talking Fort Wayne near Indianapolis, Toledo and Cleveland, and then over there toward Erie, Pennsylvania, Detroit, Toronto. Those areas could be seeing an inch or two of rain. And then over here as well, once we get to Thursday for portions of the eastern seaboard, so we're saying Boston, Providence, New York City, Hartford, Trenton, over here into areas of Baltimore, getting into Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., and even Atlantic City. So we're going to be seeing the potential of a couple inches of rainfall there. This takes you through Friday at 7 a.m. on August 1st. In the central U.S., we got a few showers and thunderstorms here roaming the landscape as well as we go through the evening hours. A lot of this will continue into the mid and late evening before falling off after midnight. Some storms may hang on across the southern plains just with the heating of the evening. We got a lot of moisture out ahead of that cold front, so there could be some showers and storms. And then going through the day on Thursday, it's mainly going to be a Rockies and a southern United States event with showers and storms. We'll be drying out actually across the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Great Lakes once we get into the afternoon tomorrow and into the day on Friday. Heaviest rains is going to be sporadic. It's going to be across the Rockies there, the eastern side of the Rockies, or what we call the lee side of the Rockies, and then down here into the lower Mississippi Valley. An area could see 2 inches. You go down the road, you could see a half-inch of rain. It's going to be variable across the United States going through the morning hours on Friday. Now, we have some showers and storms as well west of the Rockies over here into California, Nevada, and Idaho. This could promote the potential of some locally heavy rainfall overnight tonight. That will move north into central Oregon, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. Flooding should be minimal, but as we go into the day on Thursday, we're going to see more of that moving further north. So Oregon, central Idaho, western Montana, even into British Columbia, Canada, could start to see some showers and storms there as we go through Thursday and Thursday night. That'll be adding up. There'll be some spots there in Oregon and California, northern California, Idaho, western Montana, and even southern British Columbia, Canada there that could receive a quarter to half an inch of rain. Heaviest will be across the lee side of the Rockies. This is the eastern Rockies there from portions of Wyoming down into Colorado, New Mexico. Some spots could see upwards to 2 inches of rain through Friday. Going into the new month, Friday, August 1st, severe weather is not in the forecast anywhere across the U.S. The lighter green color you see here is where general garden variety thunderstorms will be possible. They're not expected to be severe. In the white is where thunderstorms are unlikely. So we're going to be seeing drier weather there. And looking here at Friday, again, big ridge of high pressure starting to build across portions of the desert Southwest. We got another high pressure over the Great Lakes region. The high pressure over the Great Lakes is going to be ushering in a lot of dry air, so you're going to be seeing lots more sunshine heading into the weekend and a lot of lower humidity, whereas that front further to the south will be a focal point for some scattered showers and storms across the Gulf Coast, really as we go through the weekend itself. And over the next 3 days, so the end of the week, this is for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3-day period, could be seeing some heavier rains from the plains and then across the southeast near the Gulf Coast there. Areas in the plains, especially from Nebraska into Kansas and Oklahoma, could be getting a nice drink of water with a couple inches of rain there, and then across southeastern Georgia into South Carolina, the low country near Charleston, could be seeing an inch or two of rainfall during the weekend as well. Long range pattern heading into next week, Monday, August 4th through Friday, August 8th. Ridge of high pressure smack dab there in the desert Southwest. That's where the most extreme heat will be as we go through next week. Although there will be attempts at the heat building northward too into the central and eventually the northern plains and Midwest. So be watching out for that later next week. As that process begins, we're going to shift that storm track back north as well. And that's where those thunderstorm clusters will come back. The northwest flow as we call it. And that's where we're going to see the storms originating in the Dakotas, Minnesota again, and then dropping southeast toward the Ohio Valley. And there's a couple different model camps that are showing different solutions right now, as you can imagine, in the long-range pattern. Here's the European model that came out this afternoon, showing most of the rainfall in the upper Midwest, northern plains as the Ohio Valley looks dry through next week. In contrast, the GFS model is a lot further to the south and more bullish there on the rainfall in the Ohio Valley and lower parts of the Midwest like Iowa, northern Illinois, and less rainfall further north. So we're going to have to continue to watch these key features in the long range to see which model wins out, but right now there are differences there in who sees the heaviest rainfall. Now let's look here at the tropical update. National Hurricane Center is not forecasting any tropical cyclone activity over the next 7 days and anywhere in the Atlantic Basin. However, there has been a consensus just off of the Carolina coast for a tropical depression that could form really as we go into early August. Tropical storm is very unlikely right now, only peaking at 20-30% on an ensemble and away from the U.S. So pretty much a fish storm if this does come to fruition. Although this could produce a lot of tropical rain rains across the eastern side of the Carolinas and just off the coast there. Coastal Georgia, for example, the east coast of Florida could get some heavy rainfall for this during the first 7 days of August. There could be areas from Wilmington and Norfolk down there to Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Savannah, Georgia, Jacksonville, Daytona Beach, and Miami. That could see potentially over 6 inches worth of rain with this tropical influence as we move into early August. Looking here at the East Pacific, it is nothing short of busy. We have a Hurricane Iona over there south of Hawaii. We also have a Tropical Storm Kelly south of Hawaii. Another system that has a medium chance of development, a 60% chance right on the heels of Kelly there. And then 2 systems that could develop over the next 7 days in the East Pacific Basin. So a lot going on here in the Central and the East Pacific Basin, that is for sure. And you can see the robust system could develop out of one of those there in the East Pacific and then slide westward toward the Central Pacific Basin, and that's the system we got to keep an eye on. So Iona and Kelly are both going to stay south of Hawaii. Indirect impacts, there could be some rip currents and some rough surf there. But as we go into the middle and late portion of next week, one of those systems, if they develop in the East Pacific, could take a run toward Hawaii and a lot closer. So this is something we got to watch toward the middle and late portion of next week. We're talking August 5th through about August 8th or so. And that could bring potentially some rain bands in here. And who knows, maybe even a tropical storm near Hawaii. So something we're going to have to keep an eye on there in the long range in early August. Hey, if you did enjoy the forecast, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, family member on social media, and you might as well subscribe to the channel. We do straightforward, accurate, reliable weather coverage daily here across southern Canada, the United States, and the tropics, and it's free to subscribe, so make sure to do so, and we'll keep you covered on the weather forecast. That's all the weather I got for you here this evening. I'll see you in another video forecast tomorrow.